Water safely right in front of me on the desk now. Joining me now, Michael McLaren, host of Weekends of 2GB, and Chris Mitchell, former Editor-in-Chief at The Australian. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Great to have you on the program. Chris, let's get into this PC report, the Productivity Commission landmark report out tomorrow. It comes out about every 5 years. It was due later in the year. The Treasurer has brought it forward. Hopefully, she says, that's because he wants support from the PC for wider reforms in the budget. Here was the Treasurer this afternoon.
But we all want to turn the headwinds described in this report into tailwinds in our economy. We all want better living standards. We all recognise the central role of productivity growth in that endeavour and in that effort. How we go about it is contested, as it should be when so much is at stake.
So, Chris, you tell me, am I being too Pollyanna to hope that he's going to actually read this report and put some reform measures in the May budget, or are they going to go down the path of these lazy revenue grabs that we saw on super?
Hi, Peter. Thanks for having me. Look, I think they're going to go down the easy path, really. It seems to me a lot of the things that Jim Chalmers has been talking about, particularly building out a renewables network, accelerating the distribution of wind farms and solar cells, and the work that he wants to do on hiring more people in the aged care sector and in health generally. A lot of these things are likely to be incredibly expensive and, in fact, reduce productivity. So I think they will go for increased taxes. I think that'll be the answer.
And Michael, we've got this push from the unions, work 4 days but get paid for 5. I can't see how that's productivity. And we also know in Victoria too, stats out today from the Property Council, less than 50% of workers are back in offices. Now, I know people say, I'm more productive at home, but if business can't get you back into the office for at least the majority of the week, and they say they need it to boost productivity, then this report's dead on arrival.
Yeah, that's a good point, Peter. I think also another point you raised earlier, which was very important, was when you looked at the productivity enhancement that came via farming as an exemplar. Of course, one thing that will absolutely destroy Australia's productivity going forward, should AUKUS actually have to come to fruition, we have to defend our shores from China, would be a lack of the ability to get fertiliser on the Australian mainland. My understanding is we get almost all of it from China and Russia. So these are other aspects, and I'm sure in the 1,000-page report, all of these things are at least touched on. But there's a broader story, isn't there, more than just getting more capacity out of each individual. I think that tapers off at a certain level. You can only get so much juice out of a lemon. But in the entire economy, there are many aspects at play here. They all have to be looked at. And one of the other issues, of course, is the government's going to want to have more and more immigration. More population. Well, when he was Treasurer of New South Wales, before being Premier, Dominic Perrottet made the case excellently economically as to why that isn't necessarily a productivity enhancer. We need greater productivity growth. We've just got to work out how to get it.
So to people at home, if you're interested in economic direction, it's a dry report. There's a lot in there that politicians on both sides won't like. It's 1,000 pages, but if you've got a slow weekend, it's absolutely worth pulling it off the website and having a flick through.